Let me get myself unmuted. There we go. Let me see if I can start that over, because you know what? That wasn't right. And I got things going on that shouldn't be going on. So we're going to go ahead and start that one over, ladies and gentlemen. You know, because, you know, this is kind of a live thing. So we want this to go right and look live when it's finally a said and done video. So here we go. Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Now we're here to break down game one. Of course, you know the New York Knicks lost last night to the Atlanta Hawks. They lost home court, ladies and gentlemen. They lost home court. And it doesn't feel good, and it's not sitting right with a lot of people, including myself. And I'm pretty sure it's not sitting right with you. So we're going to break this thing down. You know, last night, everybody got on. I'm pretty sure every single show that was out there, people got on with a lot of emotions, upset, ready to go crazy about what they saw from the Knicks. And, you know, it's going to happen that way, ladies and gentlemen. So, look, we're going to break it down. Hopefully come today with you know, just, you know, being a better mental frame. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and break this thing down, talk about the game. And I got some film I want to break down and, you know, take a look at some of the things that happened to us last night defensively. And maybe think about some ways we can fix that. And tomorrow, when I do the game preview, I'm going to have the adjustments that I would make. You know, it takes a little bit more time than just one day. If you're Tom Thibodeau, he probably stayed up all night, him and the coaching crew. You know, I'm not doing that because I'm not getting paid to do it. So, you know, if I was getting paid, I would stay up all night and do it. But anyway, let's get to the crew we got here in the building. You know what I mean? And break this thing down. We got Kev, we got Isaiah, we got Andy, we got Nate in the building. And we're going to talk about how you feeling now. All right, let's get to it, fellas. Let's get on in here, man. Kev, what's poppin' with you, bro?
Hey, salute to my brothers on the panel here. Salute to the chat. Yeah, I just still feel the way I feel. You know, dejected, disgusted. You know, but it was game one. So we got to, look towards Wednesday for game two. I didn't get a chance to answer your question yesterday because I got off, but I think Wednesday is a must win on many, many, many observations and levels. Wednesday is a must win. We got to win game two. When we lost game one, it reminded me of our last playoff run back in 2013 against the Pacers, how they took game one. I think in the regular season, we lost, I think, once, and we thought that we had this, and then we lose game one, and then they held home court when we played those two games in Indiana. Came back home, won that one, and then we lost to them eventually in Indiana. So I was having visions of that. So I just want us to buckle down, get this game two, and then get the split in Atlanta, because Atlanta pretty much did what they wanted to do. They got the what they had to do. They had to get a split, and they got game one. So there we go.
Yeah, that's what they had to do. Isaiah?
Hey, what's going on, Sim, Andy, Kev, Nate? Listen, I mean, I'm still upset, but I'm not upset. I'm not as upset as I was yesterday. You sit, you take a nap. Well, not a nap. You go to sleep. You wake up, work out a little bit, drink some fresh OJ, and you get it going. Listen, I mean, we all know what Wednesday is for the Knicks. It's our season on the line. But you think about the game. You think about if we did a little something here, a little bit of defense there, get a rebound there, get a better shot, we win the game. So again, after all what Trae Young did and how bad Julius Randle played, we only lost by 2. So there are a lot of adjustments that we can make to win this series. Like, this is a 7-game series. This is a very long series, and I still like our chances. I still like our matchups. And again, like you said, Tom Thibodeau and the crew will probably staying up all night working on these adjustments. Julius Randle, RJ were in the gym. So listen, man, it's a long series, and I believe we're going to make this out. So let's get it, man. Let's talk about some film.
Let's get it. Andy, I know you got finally got a chance to see the game. What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, what up, Sim? What up to the panel? What up to the chat? Yeah, the playoff time, I decided I'm going to watch the games live, like every game, before the game, after the game. I almost watched the whole post show. It was 3 hours, long. So I'm like midway just to understand it. But like you said, Tibbs was, working probably whole night. I was up to 5 a.m. and I was at 7 at work. So, it was hard for me, but I still couldn't sleep. After that, I was watching the game in bed, and my wife was sleeping. I was watching it on a tablet, right? And, every play I was like, kicking the bed, whatever. I was like, she's like, just stop kicking. And I was like, no, I'm mad. But she didn't want me to go downstairs because she knew that I'm going to yell and I'm going to wake up the kids. So I was like, almost taped my mouth.
You go to your car, Andy.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I'm happy to be back. I had almost a week off of the show because you were doing a late shows. So I was rewatching the shows, doing some New York City puzzles, 1,000 pieces. So I had time to, to stress out, lay out the stress. I mean, from the Knicks time and stuff. So I'm ready for the playoffs, and, it's so many things to talk about that, I'm going to let the rest of the panel, say hi and let's dig into it.
Yeah. Andy, you got off easy because my wife said I can't stay in the room anymore while she's doing this. So there you go.
Yeah.
Live by yourself, man.
Hey, a lot of storylines though, Andy. You're right. A lot of things that we can discuss. Storylines in this game, and a lot. Nate.
Hey, man. How y'all doing? Yesterday was a nut punch. It was all the air was like taken out of me after the game was over. But, after thinking about it overnight, the reality is we only lost by 2. Randall played like garbage. We don't expect Randall to play like that every game. I honestly don't think there's a lot of adjustments to be made. I mean, really, Randall's just got to play better. And we've got to find a way to just kind of, play better defense on Trae Young. I mean, we do 2 of those things, I think we win. you know.
That's a hell of an adjustment, though, Nate.
I mean, Randall just meant shooting better is going to help right there. I mean, I think he'll have a better game coming forward. But, you know, if there's one thing I am concerned is the starters, man, they got to get going. I mean, the bench was really our saving grace throughout the game. And, you know, like the starters we got to get more from the starters.
Well,
like we cannot have, you know, eggs or.
You know what's weird with this team and the way that the rotations are? It's a little weird because we'll have the starters in the game, and then the bench will come in. Sometimes they gotta get a lead. Sometimes they'll lose a lead, but the bench is in for such a length of time that you can see the bench go from building an 11-point lead to entirely losing that lead to getting a 5-point or 6-point lead back, right? Because we really do play our bench a long period out there, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying the rotations on this team are a little bit different than just other teams that's in the league. You know, from the way that Tom Thibodeau has his system set up. You know, so, you know, you're going to watch waves. And if you pay attention throughout the season, you know, our starters and bench, you know, they go through waves. And we've been a team that's gone through wild swings the entire season. Down 10 to up 10, right? To down 2 to up 6. And, you know, there hasn't been a lot of games where we were just steadily leading all the way through. And maybe it's like this throughout the entire league. I don't know. But I know it's been like that with this team.
The reality is our scorers are on the bench. You know,
right,
Burks, Rose, Quickly. I mean, you look at our starting lineup. I mean, maybe Bullock and Randall are. You could call Randall's a scorer, but I don't know about Bullock. Bullock's a timely scorer, I guess, or whatever, a streaky scorer. But your most scorers are going to be off the bench. So yeah, I mean, Tibbs. Going forward to next year, I think he's going to have to mix that up a little bit more.
Well, going forward into next year, you're going to have different players.
Well, that's
right. I mean, you're going to have a number of guys come back, but you're going to have different players. Right now, he has a system, and he's rocking with the system that he had.
Yeah.
You know, that he played with throughout the season. Next year is going to be an entirely different team.
Sure.
You know, and it's one of the reasons why. At the trade deadline, they decided we're going to stay put with where we are because we like the chemistry that's building. And as soon as you add one person to a team, everything changes. Your chemistry changes. Everything changes, right? You know, so they decided we're just going to rock with this and see where it goes. And, hey, they ended the season 10 games above 500. You know, so you can't argue with that move there. And so, you know, they are where they are, and they've got to figure out how do we win with doing what we've been doing this season. And, you know, next season, you're going to have some different players to throw in and out of the lineup. But right now, you know, you have the talent that you have. And you got to, you know, continue. You do with what you have and figure out how to make it work. And then you take care of what any holes, you know, every season, every team has holes. You take care of those holes during the off season. You know, the one thing I say, you know, you said, they don't have to make a lot of adjustments. I think there's a few defensive adjustments that they need to make. Right? You know, at least one, at least, you know, a couple of, and I'm going to show you a couple of defensive adjustments I think they need to make. And then I want to show you this quasi-zone offense that they kind of play on Randall when he gets the basketball sometimes that is very troubling to me because, like I said last night, I seen it in San Antonio. And now it's resurfaced. It resurfaced last night with the Hawks. They didn't commit to a double team. It was kind of a quasi double team, and it's effective. Steph?
Hey, Sam, panel, the chat.
Hey, sis.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to game 2 and the adjustments that Tibbs made. Like I said last night on the show, I thought coming into the game, he should have had a few adjustments in his pocket in terms of Trey, in terms of, you know, if he began to go off, so to speak, what adjustments. I feel like that should have already been there. I think that, we talk about how a player can make mistakes and you don't get an opportunity to get that back. We may not get an opportunity to get this game back. I hope we do. I just thought there was some in-game adjustments that should have been made. So I'm looking forward to see what happens for game 2. I'm also looking forward to see if they take advantage of mismatches. I rewatched the game. It's really different from home. When you're on the TV, you get better angles than when you're actually there. Right. How quickly when he had Gallo on him, how he just called, how he just, asked for everybody to just spread out to get on the floor. I would like to see Randall do that more. Burke got in the post with Trey and got the drew the double team and got it to Taj. The same thing with RJ. I'd like to see more of that, just taking advantage of Trey defensively. So I'm really interested to see how that goes. And then also, Sam, there was at least 3 transition buckets, 2 where Trey went the length of the court and laid it up, and once in the fourth quarter where Lou Williams did that. These games are really tight. Like that could be the difference in a game. So we have to tighten that up as well. So there's a few things that we do need to tighten up. They did a good job not turning the ball over and and Randall didn't get to the free throw line, I think, to the fourth quarter. We did a good job with them as well. But when Trey did go to it seemed like he was there all of fourth quarter, but I don't think so. I think he only took like 4, but it just seemed like he was there and took more than that.
Yeah, well,
so it's going to be interesting.
It is. And, the game went fast to me. We got to the fourth quarter fast because there just wasn't a lot of foul calls.
Right.
Guys wasn't going to the line a lot. So the game went kind of fast. The first thing I want to really get into is, let me say this, though. I do think a big portion of last night was nerves for this team. Coming out, 15,000 fans at the Garden, nerves. I was listening to some other shows, and people were talking about how the rookies played better than the veterans. Let me explain something to you. The pressure's not on the rookies, right? The pressure is not on Quickly or Obi. They cannot perform well, and no one's going to think any two things about it. The pressure's on Randall, Derrick Rose, R.J. Barrett, Alec Burks. The pressure's on those guys. So, you can't be like, these guys came in and did this, that, and the third. Give them the minutes and take it away from that. You can't do that. Right? Because the pressure's not on them. Now, if you switch it around and say, we're going to give Obi 30 minutes, which, of course, is not going to happen. Right? But you switch around. Now that pressure's on Obi. Can he handle that? Can he handle that? I don't think so. Obi's going to have some good moments. And I did want to see Obi play a little bit more last night. I'm not going to lie. When I seen Randall come in a little bit earlier than that normal 6 minutes in the fourth quarter, I said, maybe you should have let Obi stay out there a little bit longer because the floor seemed to be a little bit more open when he was out there. But I'm not relying on Obi to take us home in the fourth. I'm sorry. Not right now. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about Obi. I'm just not relying on him. Now, I will say this, though. Quickly knows how to play in the moment. And I felt good with Quickly on the floor. I'm not going to lie. He knows how to play in the moment. He's not afraid of the moment. He's going to go out there and ball. He don't care. So, I will play Quickly down the stretch in the fourth quarter. Because I believe he's got it. He's not afraid.
He knows how to play.
And he knows how to play. He's not afraid to go out there and ball. He's not afraid to make a mistake. He's not going to drop his head. He's going to keep playing hard. I will say that about Quickly. But the pressure's not on him. The pressure is on, those veterans out there. Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, what I was going to say about Quickly is he came from one of the number one programs in college basketball in Kentucky. So he is used to having the limelight. And I think also with them not having a March Madness, I think he was just itching to come out and just, start showing out, in these playoffs. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's one, he seemed to embrace, what was going on last night, literally.
His decision making was good too.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are a little excited about, again, I'm happy. I'm happy that the playoff experience wasn't too big for Obi and quickly. But like Sim said, the pressure's not on them. They're playing with free money. The pressure's on RJ. The pressure's on Julius. The pressure's on D Rose. The pressure's on Todd. The pressure's on Tom Thibodeau. The pressure's on those guys. So again, right? Every shot, everything's bigger for them than it is for Quickly and Obi. And I get it. And I'm with you, Sam. I would have liked to see Obi play a little bit more because I thought it would have been better for Julius to get him a little more rest and just to get himself more calm. But things happen, and Tom Thibodeau did what he had to do. But
why do you and everybody on the panel say the pressure's on RJ? Why do you say that?
He's one of our main stars.
Well, he's just a second-year player too.
But
20 years old.
But you got to understand though, his role is bigger than what Quickly and Obi is. He knows RJ Barrett knows for us to win this series, he has to play good. He knows that. He's not blind to that fact that if he does not play good, we won't win this series. He's the second scoring option on our team. He knows that already. So again, the pressure's on him to make the shots when Randall's not making. So that's why I say it's on him. He has more pressure than those two, even though he's a second-year player. And he welcomes that. That's what he wants.
I was going to say that it's more the veterans than anything, like your Randalls, like your Derrick Roses, your Nolan's Noel, your
Alfred
Paytons, your Chaz Gibsons, because they have been through the rigors of the regular season for many years, and you have Taj and Derrick Rose that have been in, to a conference final. So I think it's more on those guys than it would be the younger players, a la Quickly, Obi, and RJ.
Well, the pressure is going to be. I mean, the pressure is going to be on the guys that you've been leaning on. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And Quickly is, the expectations of him was going to be in and out. Same for Obi. The guys that you've been leaning on, that's where the pressure is. It's going to be on those guys there.
You talk about for production, Sim? Is that what you're saying?
For production. Yeah, for production. You know what I'm saying? And RJ's one of those guys. No one's going to be mad at him if he's up and down. But still, trust me. And we're talking personally. Emmanuel Quickly doesn't have in his mind, I got to be like this. RJ does.
Care. He just plays.
Yeah, he just plays.
Obi doesn't have that in his mind. Randall does. But RJ, trust me, he has that in his mind that I know I got to perform and I need to be out there.
But do you think if he doesn't, Sim, that we can't win this series if RJ is up and down?
I think we can win the series. But I think as far as a player putting pressure on themselves, like I feel like Quickly and Obi, they can play a little bit more free. Yeah. Where there's more of a chance that RJ is going to be tight coming out than Quickly or Obi because of his stature on the team.
Yeah, I forgot Reggie and Burks as well. Now Burks has had playoff experience, correct?
Both of them have. I don't know about Reggie.
Yeah, not that much of I believe. I think he played with Philly, and I don't think he played with Golden State when they were good. But I will say this though, Sam. I do disagree with you to the extent that I don't believe we will win this series if RJ plays bad. And again, I'm one of the biggest components of him just getting experience. But again, I don't think the Knicks will advance further than this first round if RJ doesn't play good, because the Atlanta Hawks, they still have the Danilo Gallinari, who had a bad game. Lou Williams, who killed us. They still got DeAndre Hunter. Bogdan, who's been killing us these last couple of games.
Yep, sure has.
So again, right, Bullock's been shaky. Well, Bullock had a shaky game. Burks was good, but we can't rely on Burks having a 27-point game. So again, we're gonna have RJ to get to the next round. Forget the next round. For us to win this next game, RJ has to play better for us to even think about winning this game. Because again, Randall can't.
They saying the same thing. Atlanta's saying the same thing about their players.
Exactly.
That Gallinari guy is gonna. If we're gonna win the series, Gallinari's gonna have to play better than this. If we're gonna win the series, Hunter's gonna have to. I mean, he hit a shot here and there. He's gonna have to play better than this. So they have players that are probably gonna show up every night, like Trae Young and Bogdanovich, and those other guys are hit and miss. Just like you could say the same thing about our guys.
I mean,
I'm sure we're not going to expect Bullock. That's not going to give us anything in the series. I don't think Gallinari, with his lack of mobility, should be an issue for the Knicks in this.
No, should not.
Defensively, he shouldn't be issue. And I mean, I think Sim's probably going to talk about it today with Randall, because there were a lot of instances when Gallinari was being Randall, and Randall just for the whole game, he was just more he was more of a jump shooter than going to the paint and banging with these guys.
Okay,
so we're probably going to talk about it.
Okay, so let's get into it and break it down, because a lot of people talked about that last night, and it's not all just Randall was kind of looking and seeing what the defense was doing, and then had to make a decision from there on how he was going to attack the defense. And Atlanta did a good job in the way that they defended him. All right, so let's take a look at it, at this quasi double team that they were playing on Julius Randle. All right, and it's very. I think this is really important, and something that we're gonna have to figure out how to attack. All right, if not, it could be rough. So I'm gonna bring this on over here. All right, and I'm gonna switch this up so you guys can see what I'm talking about there. So I have on the screen here, this is in the fourth quarter. All right, playing the fourth quarter. And, I had to, find it, good breakdowns of it so you can really see it. All right. 84-83, the Knicks are up 7 minutes and 27 seconds in the fourth quarter. All right, so let me just spring this forward just a little bit. All right, you're going to see, if I can get it to play. Let's see if we can get it to go. All right, I may have to, give me a second here, ladies and gentlemen. I may have to refresh it before I can get it to play.
I'm sorry, y'all, man. I'm embarrassed by something right now. I'm sorry, y'all.
Let me go ahead and refresh this real quick, and then hopefully I can get it to do what I need it to do.
So you need me to pay the bill? Well, I know you need a little bit of money, man. You need to pay the bill?
Nah, I need you to get a job that pays you. That's what I need you to do. First of all, you see that's paying you.
You see the shirt. You see the shirt.
Isaiah, somebody needs to knock you on your head, man. Literally. It will be me.
I promise you, Kev, it ain't gonna be you.
Okay.
It ain't gonna be nobody on this chat. I know that. I know that much. I'm the big dog in this chat.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's get back to it. So here we go. All right. You can see it up on your screen. Let me get it over here on the screen for you guys here. And I want you to pay attention here. You see Randall gets the ball here off the inbounds, right? And let me get my pointer up here. See, Randall gets the ball here off the inbounds. He's guarded by Gallinari. Alec Burks is going to start coming this way. And that's a normal thing, right? You pass the ball to one side from out of bounds, you're going to go to the other side of the floor, right? So you can clear some space out. Now, watch here. Boom. Randall turns, looking towards the baseline. Gallinari is pushing him towards the baseline. Now, pay attention here. He leaves Burks. He's coming here, but he's not going to come with a hard double team. He's going to kind of dance around in this area. And everyone else here drops off their man. I'm going to bring this forward just a little bit more. All right, you see it.
What's that?
You see it there now, right? He stops here. Randall sees this. What else is Randall looking at? He's looking to see, can he get it to Burks? Probably not, because John Collins is right here, and he's in good position. If Randall tries to pass it baseline, he's not going to pass it past. He's not going to throw it past him. He can't kick it here. He can't kick it there. Right? Now, he's already turned this way. He can try to pivot back around and come this way. But if he pivot backs around and come this way, he's going to get another quasi-double team this way. These things, I believe, confuses Randall on where he needs to go with the basketball. And it makes it hard for him to get in the paint like we're saying. Because when he comes back around this way and tries to get into that paint, you get another quasi-double team, and he's going to have to kick it back out. What's Randall decided to do here? You know, he could have decided to kick it back out. Still 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Instead, he pulls up the jump shot. And the Hawks, because they had so many people kind of hovering around the paint, are in good position to get the rebound, and they'll be off to the races. Right? I want to show you one more time the same thing, the same quasi, skip it over there, the same quasi type double team defense. Right? Now, when you see it here, it looks like a 2-3 zone, but it really isn't. Looks like a 2-3 zone, right? You got two guys up here, John Collins on Randall, Capella here, and you got Trae Young down here, but really it's not. I'm going to show you the beginning of this play. You see it's 59-56 in the third quarter, 8:01. I'll show you the very beginning of this play. I'm not going to show it in action, right? But just the very beginning of this play, let me skip it over. You'll see that they're in man, right? It's 8:07, still 59-56. You see they're in man, right? Someone guarding Derrick Rose, Capella's guarding Noel, Trae Young is guarding Reggie Bullock, whoever that is guarding R.J. Barrett, Collins is guarding Julius Randle. They're definitely in man-to-man defense right here. All right, so now I'm going to skip this back. Remember, this is just 5 seconds. It's, it's 8 minutes and 7 seconds in the third quarter. When I skip this back here, you see it's 8 minutes and 1 second here in the third quarter. All the same possession. But what happens is whenever Randall would get the ball, and I just want to go just a little bit, you see Clint Capella, he's not really coming to double team, but he's here. Nerlens Noel is there, but the pass really isn't there. It may look like it's there, but if he goes to make that pass, Clint Capella's picking it off. You got Trae Young dipping in here, so if he goes to make that pass, Trae Young is going to get it. You got, who's that, DeAndre Hunter guarding R.J. Barrett right here, but he's way down in the paint. Same thing here, way down in the paint. This is what Randall sees. So it's hard for him to just get down into the post and score inside because this is what he's seeing when he gets the ball. They basically did kind of jump into a 2-3 when he got the basketball. So they're playing this quasi-double team type of defense, and he's not sure where to go with the ball. And I think this is part of his complacency. Why he was so complacent. He's trying to figure out where to go and what to do. And what's he do? He swings it out. We swing it around to Reggie Bullock, who's guarded by Trae Young, and Reggie Bullock misses the jump shot. This is difficult. This is difficult. I think it's difficult for Julius Randle to deal with these types of defenses right now. It's something new. He's got to learn how to see the floor and where to go with it. And, I mean, he did the right play. He kicked it back out on that possession. He kicked it back out, swung the basketball. But because it wasn't a hard double team, it wasn't like Trae Young had to come from, all the way under the basket to try to close out. He's still kind of right there.
Yeah, but Sim, one thing that I think the Knicks should definitely do, because for that instant right there, right when Reggie Bullock did the catch and shoot, I wish he would have paused for a second, see that as Trae Young, and make him work on the defensive end. And I get that, Reggie Bullock's a shooter, but if you recognize that you have Trae Young on you, I believe just for the betterment to make him work, to get him more time, recognize that, put him in the post, and make him work, make him earn that on the defensive end. I think that's one thing you got to recognize. I think that should be for any. I don't care who is on the floor. If Trae Young is guarding you, post him up. I don't care, what it is. Make him work on that end, because I think last night was a big issue. Was that this guy didn't work last night, and he would just had to focus on the offensive end versus just working on both sides of the ball.
But the problem is we don't have anybody that can post up that does post up.
But no, Nate, that's not a good excuse, because again, we've seen Reggie work around that post elbow area. The NBA players, most of them know basic post moves, and again, Trae Young is not going to do that. So when you recognize that, put him in the post. Don't.
But if they don't do it, how do you expect them to? How do you ask them to do it? That's what I'm trying to say.
Nate,
it's not part of their game.
You gotta recognize that though.
I think Bullock is the only one it may not be, because Burke did it, RJ did it.
Yeah.
Bullock in that situation could have just faked Trae and took a step or two in and probably got an easier.
But that's all I'm saying, Steph, is that when you see that this guy's on you, make him work. Don't bail him out with the jump shot. Because if the jump shot's not hitting, then that's one thing. So make him work.
The only thing I'm gonna say is,
Bullock do it.
what I'm gonna say is this: I'm not asking my guys to do anything outside of what they're able to do. I don't care who they have on you, because to me, I think that causes more problems than good. If you ask somebody to do something that they're just not accustomed to doing,
with it, right?
I don't know if it works. I know, logical thinking is, hey, I got this small guy on me. I'm 6'6", he's 6 foot. I'm gonna take him down in the post. But if you don't normally go into the post, it may be strange to you when you get down there and you don't know what to do. I mean, that's why I keep saying it's just not that black and white when you're playing basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not that black and white. RJ can do it.
Hey, Sim.
Reggie Bullock can do it. I mean, Burks can do it.
Yeah.
Hey, Sim.
Yeah.
On that defense, so I kind of like that defense to, like in football, where they spy the quarterback if he's going to run and see what he's going to do. I feel like that's what they're kind of doing with that quasi defense, is they're keeping that spy there. They're not totally committing to Randall on the double team, but they're keeping that guy there just so he can make a decision whether he goes out or he goes to Randall if the ball swings that way. Is that would you kind of say that's kind of accurate?
It's hard to say. I don't know because Randall didn't push the issue a lot to try to penetrate it, right? So I don't know.
It just kind of looks like that because he's right in the middle. That person in the paint's right in the middle of two players, and it looks like he's not totally committed to Randall on the double team. But then again, he's also keeping his eye open on the other player to see what he's doing. Right. Kind of like right in the middle.
He's definitely doing that. I guess my question is, if Randall attacks, what's his next move, right? Because everything that you do on a defensive and offensive end is predicated on what somebody else does, right? The person with the basketball. On the offensive end, everything is predicated on what the person with the basketball does. On the defensive end, it's also predicated on what the person with the basketball does. Right. So if, like, for example, if you are running a full court press, sometimes you tell your defenders, don't trap until they attack. Once they attack, now you go trap. If they're just dribbling up the court, we stay cool. Right? We don't, because they have control and, they're able to see the floor. So I don't know, we don't know because we didn't see it a lot, what they're instructing Randall, whoever the double teamer is, to do if Randall decides to attack. So this is something. Go ahead, Steph. Now, I was just going to say this is something that Tom Thibodeau and the coaching staff, I think, they're going to have to make some kind of adjustment against this. And maybe figure out a way to send some guys cutting to the basket, because you've seen on that play, everybody just standing around the perimeter. Send somebody else cutting to the basket, maybe, instead of standing around the perimeter.
Or how about having the guard penetrate?
I mean,
Like in the
Randall.
paint.
I mean, Randall had the ball in his hands, right? So he swung it, and then the ball swings, boom, boom. But
Right.
what I'm saying is, if they move and play this kind of quasi zone, quasi double team thing, send somebody shooting the gap to penetrate that middle, and let Randall try to kick it to that person penetrating the middle. Or if you send one person to the gap, the defense closes in. Now when you swing, Reggie Bullock is a little bit more open because everybody had to collapse in because somebody flashed into the middle, into the gap. You know what I'm
Sounds
saying?
like RJ would be perfect for that.
So, yeah. So, we're going to have to, they got to look at it and figure out how do we, stop them from going into this type of double teaming, quasi double team when Randall gets the basketball. Now, defending Trae Young. Obviously, this is going to be a big issue the entire series. And I want to jump in exactly what Steph was saying with Trae Young. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to look at, though, first thing I want to look at with Trae Young is, let me see if I got my play right. Okay, yeah, that's the one that I'm looking at. All right, let me go ahead and bring it back. First thing I'm going to look at is a screen and roll, and he gets an alley-oop to John Collins, right? Off of a regular screen and roll. And to me, it was just a little bit too easy that he could get this kind of a clean alley-oop to John Collins. All right, you'll see the setup on the floor here. Basic setup. All right. Trae Young has the ball at the top of the key. You see John Collins here getting ready to set the screen. Julius Randle here. Nerlens Noel on Capella over here. Reggie Bullock on Herter, whoever that is there. And RJ Barrett here. Now, RJ Barrett already is kind of helping off because he can see. If you look at RJ Barrett and you look at where his head is pointing, he can see what's happening right here. He's got that line of vision already. He sees the screen is coming to get set, and he's thinking, I got to step in
Sam, can you
so
put
I
it
can
on your
help get a
screen?
stop.
Sam, can you put it on your screen? Okay.
Yeah, let me put it out there. My bad. Right? So he's already thinking, I got to, and I'll put that up so that you can see it again. RJ Barrett's already got a line of vision. I can see it. He can see it there. He can see the screen getting ready to come in. So he's stepping off his man so that he can be in help side. All right, so let's push this forward just a little bit. You'll see the screen come, bam. Right? Now, here's where RJ Barrett's got to make a decision. Couple other things I want to show you on just how much action is actually going on. You see Clint Capella right here is already setting a screen on Nerlens Noel, and he's getting ready to come off the screen to pop off over here, which I think that's Reggie Bullock there is going to have to fight over that screen. That way, Trae Young has maybe an open shooter here. Right? And if Nerlens Noel decides to go up here to help out, you may get Clint Capella lobbing to the basket as well, but he probably sees John Collins, so he won't go all the way to the basket. RJ Barrett, there's action here. While Trae Young's coming off the screen, these guys ain't standing still. They're moving. Why are they moving? They're moving because that means RJ Barrett has to make a decision. Right? And it keeps them occupied. It keeps other defenders occupied while they're running this screen and roll. Now, RJ Barrett, he recognized that screen and roll was coming. And I think here, RJ Barrett really needs to step in and be the person to stop John Collins. Make him have to kick that ball out here. I'd rather take a chance on them getting the ball out here than getting the easy lob to the basket. Especially if DeAndre Hunter wasn't shooting well. Well, at this point, I guess you don't know, right? It's 6 minutes in the first quarter, so you don't know if he's going to be shooting well or not, right? But RJ Barrett was just a little bit late on stepping in, and it's not all RJ Barrett's fault. DeAndre Hunter was moving. So with DeAndre Hunter moving, it stopped. It made RJ Barrett have to pay attention to two things at one time. That's just good offense. Good offense. Because really, we would have wanted R.J. Barrett to step in, cut that off, force Trae Young to have to kick it out here, and then R.J. Barrett recover. But because DeAndre Hunter was moving and didn't just stand stationary, R.J. Barrett had to make a decision. He had to pay attention to DeAndre Hunter. So
Tim,
you end up getting a
can I say a
nice
word?
open lob. Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
Firstly, I don't know if you notice it, but Randall never, at least he could step at least one step further. So, Trae wouldn't have that down, that way to the basket open. And if you notice, when you stop the video, he didn't even put his hands up. So to prevent the lob to Collins, right?
That's a problem.
And you can notice it if you rewatch the game, and it's not only this game, it was in the season also. And I'm not saying that he's a lazy defender, but those kind of things, that's why coaches in college preach it. Put your hands up, stretch them out, whatever, but don't put them in the pockets of your, shorts. So, and that will really disturb them really, really, really way worse. They didn't have those, line of sight, and they would really bother them on passes. And like you said, RJ's decision has to be basically, he has to step in and put his body on the line for a charge in that situation. And we got to live with the 3-pointer from Hunter in that situation. Yeah. There's no other way. You got to defend that.
Yeah, and I do agree with you, Andy. I do agree with you making those other guys 3-point shooters. Also, Sim, one thing that's to me been an issue with the Knicks all season is when we get these big leads, right? What's one of the big factors when we get these big leads? We move the ball, we move players around. But when we lose these big leads and we start playing the hero ball and seeing what the Atlanta Hawks do, like you said, Trae Young after the pick and roll, you have guys moving. That makes RJ have to make a decision. When the Knicks on the offensive end haven't been doing that consistently enough this season, where players just moving around. Once Randall gets that ball, what do we see? Guys staying around, guys just not moving around, and that's been always a big issue. And that's, to me, another reason why the defense was so easy on Randall is because guys aren't moving around. Guys are not creating the illusion of this so that there's different options for us to do. That's a big problem with the Knicks also.
They don't move the ball.
I agree. Now, one thing that I would like to see Derrick Rose do here, he sees this screen coming.
Yeah.
I would like to see him jump the screen. Instead of letting himself get screened off, jump the screen. He knows the screen is coming.
If he jumps the screen.
Hold on. Yeah, one at a time. Right. Go ahead, Kev.
What I was going to say was, if he jumps the screen, won't Trae blow past him if he jumps the screen?
He may not
cut him off,
right? But if he sees this screen is coming, if he takes and puts a foot over top of the screen, he's now not allowing him to get screened. And yes, Trae Young might try to take off, but you still would have Julius Randle here to hedge just a little bit and then get back to John Collins.
Okay. All right. I see.
Right.
All right.
But,
Kev,
okay.
What we got to notice is that has to be in the game plan before the game starts. That has to be said. And unless Tibbs calls it off, it has to be like that. Every play, no matter who has the ball, who's defending them.
Exactly.
It has to be the same thing all over until Tibbs calls it off and switches it up.
Right. Okay. So when John Collins starts to walk up here, Derrick Rose takes this right foot and steps it over top of John Collins' leg. Now he has John Collins sealed off, which almost negates the screen. Instead,
took it by him.
He goes right here, and he doesn't start to go until Trae Young goes, where if he could have took that step, Julius Randle still could have helped out while Derrick Rose recovers, right? But you stop Trae Young from getting in here, right? But the communication has to be, and still, RJ Barrett still has a line of vision and sees what's happening, and you see his line of vision looking dead at everything that's happening here, right? Still, because DeAndre Hunter is moving, he doesn't want DeAndre Hunter to go back door and the oop get there either, right? So he's caught in something there on how he's going to defend that. It's good offense, but there's ways to defend it. And I think what you got to do, kind of like everyone has been saying, is you're going to have to live with the 3-point shot there and not give up the oop. I'm going to live with the 3-point shot. I'm not giving up the alley-oop, man. Another play here. Steph talked about this a little bit earlier when we first started the show. Fast break. I talked about fast breaks, as part of my keys to the game, that we really got to be able to stop the Hawks from getting out on the break. And you're going to see here, and if you're Elfrid Payton, you got to have in your mind, no matter what's happening, I'm locating him. I am locating Trae Young. We played a girl this weekend. She graduates in 2023. She's one of the top 100 players in the country based on ESPN. So we had to go a boxing one on her. We lost to her team 56-41. She had 40 points. 40 points. We had to go boxing one on her. It worked for a little while. It got us into, we were down 13. We cut the lead to 1. We kept it to 5. And then in the last 3 or 4 minutes, we lost it. We lost it. But the person I had defending her didn't worry about getting a rebound, didn't worry about getting a steal. Her only job is when the ball transitioned to them was to find her. That's what Elfrid Payton and whoever else is guarding Trae Young has to do. Find him. Be with him. And you're going to see here, right? He's over. Look where he is. He's all the way over here. And this allows Trae Young to get ahead of steam. Nobody on this floor, when Trae Young gets ahead of steam, is going to stay with him. I don't care who you are. You're not going to stay with him. And what you see happens, comes up the floor, Elfrid Payton can't get there. He's not going to get there. And this puts pressure now on Nerlens Noel, right? Because he has to see that Trae Young is zooming up the floor. Nerlens Noel's got to say, okay, I got to help. RJ Barrett now says, I got to help. And what happens?
Wide open shot.
Clint Capella for the oop. Boom.
Oh.
Right? We've got to have it in our mind to find that man right off top. We got to find him. You can't just, because if he gets ahead of steam, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You see, he got ahead of steam and he was gone.
I was going to say that, look, because we're not going to talk about the old, we talked enough about that, about Elfrid Payton and everything, but I will say there's one thing that we got to do better in. Like you said, we cannot let this dude get a full head of steam. And last night was just all that all night, especially even when we sagged off of him. When we sagged off him, he was able to get that head of steam. And then, like you said right there, listen, you gotta stick to this man like glue, know where he's at. Because again, like you just showed that play, there was no way Elfrid Payton was gonna get anywhere close to him with the amount of space he gave him, with the speed that he was going through. And like you said, that brings so much pressure on everybody else to do the assignment. And then we just gave up an open hoop. So again, we gotta put somebody on him that's, like you said to the girl on the basketball team. Even though, hey, give her 40 points, but she tried her best. God bless her. But you gotta put somebody on him that can stay with him, that can just recognize where he's at all the time on the floor, because the offense literally goes through Trae Young. Everything goes through that man. So you have to recognize where he's at all the time on the floor.
Well, I mean, it's all about being smart and understanding what your job is and what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you just can't let them get the ball with open space. Somebody has to be in front of them. So even off of a rebound, listen, when it's an inbounds play, most likely they're gonna be there. But off of a rebound, it's tough off of a rebound because everyone's scattered, right? You could have went to the basket and Trae Young got screened off and he's out on the perimeter. You missed the shot. Clint Capella gets the rebound. Oh, where is he? Where is he? Right? So you got to have in your mind, like, I'm getting to him no matter what. And if you can't get to him because you're on another side of the floor, things got switched up, whatever, you better yell to somebody else and say, hey, you go get him right now. Get in front of him. And everybody has to be aware. This is when I say it really has to be a team thing. Right? Because Derrick Rose could be guarding Trae Young. Clint Capella, Derrick Rose could have the ball and he gets a screen from Nerlens Noel and comes off the screen and shoots a floater. Right? Trae Young stayed out by the three-point line. Clint Capella gets the rebound. Trae Young gets the basketball. But Derrick Rose just came down from shooting a floater. So now he can't get back to Trae Young. Now Trae Young is off on a break. This is what I mean when you got to have team defense that's paying attention to him. But when you're in vicinity, like Elfrid Payton was, you got to recognize, okay, he got a rebound. Where is he? Where is he? My first thought, where is he? That's got to be on our mind the entire game. The entire game.
Hey, Sim.
Yeah.
We talked about this before game one. Do you feel that we need to start picking this guy up full court? I mean, to wear him down and to let the offense delay getting set up? I mean, because I feel like if you give him too much airspace or you give him too much space, he can blow by you, or he can make a move and shoot the three from anywhere on the court. I mean, do you feel like we just need to start checking him like right as soon as he gets the ball?
Well,
and try to get that ball out of his hands?
Well, I'm going to say this. I don't think you want to play up super duper tight on him full court without any kind of backup, because even with the ball in his hands, if you're too tight, he's going to blow past you as well. Right? You know, you got to be a little bit smart in the way that, unless you're going to have someone that he's not going to blow past. And there's nobody on our team, in my opinion, that he's not going to blow past. As a matter of fact, most guards in the league of his caliber, you're not going to put one person on him and they're going to stop him from blowing past.
Well, at least just apply some pressure, more pressure.
Yeah,
don't let him walk up the ball up the court.
Right.
Just give him what he wants.
I agree. Apply a little bit more pressure. Yep.
We talking like this is our first time seeing Atlanta and seeing Trae Young play. When you did the pregame show on how the playoff preview on Atlanta, this is what we talked about.
Yep.
How are we going to defend Trae in the pick and roll? Tibbs got two big, thick books on how they're going to do it, and what happens. We're talking about the same thing after game one. He's not doing anything that we didn't know he was capable of.
Exactly.
So now my question is, was the strategy off or was the execution off?
Right.
Because
Steph,
The lack of skill is off.
Hold on. Y'all got one at a time.
Well, no, I was going to say, to be fair, I don't want to say you have to throw those two games away, the first two games. I'm not saying to throw them away, but this is a completely different team with Nate McMillan.
no doubt about it. But the pick and roll was
Still the pick
what I'm
and roll.
saying. You're right about that. I didn't put a lot of stock into those 3 games. You're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is the pick and roll is that's a bedrock of their offense, no matter who the coach was, and we knew that going into the series. So yeah.
But he did kill us the game before he got injured in that third or fourth quarter. He was killing us.
Isaiah, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh no, of course. Oh no.
I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying we know this, and we had a week to prepare for it, and it just didn't look like it. That's all I'm saying.
The reality is we have nobody that can guard Trae Young on this team.
But it's not.
It's a team thing.
It's about the screening.
Thing.
it's about being able to handle this screen and roll.
But again, I'm going to
Trae
keep
credit.
saying it too.
So one at a time.
I'm going to keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. I know we don't want to say it, but Frank is the only one.
He's got to get picked off too.
But he can move through those picks. You're talking about getting picked off. He moves through those picks. That's all me and Isaiah were saying, yesterday and a couple of days before. He can move through those picks.
I agree with you.
I agree.
I'm still saying the Knicks defense the team defense on that pick and roll has to be better no matter who is guarding Trae.
Right.
But also, too, we need to give Trae Young credit because Trae Young's a very smart, intelligent player. And, you watch in basketball, sometimes they say good offense beats good defense. So you could throw the kitchen sink at Trae Young and he still might walk around.
You're right. But we didn't. Like, Tibbs could be in his head, well, I don't want to double team because if I double team, he can get it to the shooters and then they can hit it down and that creates other problems, but you got to see it. A shooter can be off. You can trap him and they pass
it's
him
like
and
pick
they
your
miss the
poison.
shot.
It's pick your poison.
Absolutely.
Because what we have to understand is Frank Ntilikina may be able to dodge the screens. I'm not saying he can't. He's one of the best screen dodgers that I've seen. Seriously. But guess what? Trae Young has a lot of court vision. So when that screen comes and Frank Ntilikina dodges it, somebody still is popping open.
But you know what? If he has more minutes, I guarantee he will be able to stay with him if he has more minutes.
You don't understand what I'm saying. Okay. Let me go on to the next thing.
Never mind.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when he dodges the screen.
Okay.
Right? When he dodges the screen, it still is incumbent on the person who is guarding the screener to make the correct play. Frank Ntilikina.
So that play that you said.
Listen,
I'm just asking a question.
No, let me finish.
All right. Okay. All right.
Frank Ntilikina can dodge as many screens as he wants. But if Nerlens Noel still stabs, if Nerlens Noel still tries to help out, somebody's going to be open. It's a team defensive strategy.
Okay, so that play that you showed us with Derrick Rose getting picked off, was it Randall's responsibility to let Rose know that a pick was coming?
He knew.
Oh, he knew. Okay.
He doesn't know. Yeah.
He knew that screen was coming. He wasn't blindsided by that screen.
But nobody rolled the other player.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Let me get on to this. Let me get on to this next one here because this one here, it involves Trae Young, but it involves other players as well, and the way that they're utilizing their offense and this is something that we're also going to have to look out for. All right, what you're going to see here is a backdoor screen for John Collins. All right, so let me push this along just a little bit. And you'll see how they're set up. You can see how they're set up. John Collins here, Trey Burke over here on the wing or wherever you want to say, not really the wing, but midcourt. All right. You got R.J. Barrett. Watch R.J. Barrett tussling with Herter down here. And I'm going to tell you right now, on this play is, in my opinion, R.J. Barrett's fault. Now I'm going to push this forward. You'll see right here, okay? They've got to talk. They've got to communicate because this is bad. R.J. Barrett's man goes to set the screen on, I guess that's Nerlens Noel. And you see John Collins now coming this way. Now, he quickly is going to try to help out as much as he can. You see quickly stepping in, right? But R.J. Barrett's got to go with John Collins on this play right here. He's got to.
Yeah,
Herter sets that back screen. R.J. Barrett's got to go with John Collins.
Right.
Wow.
Right? He's got to go with John Collins right there. If he doesn't go with John Collins, you know what's going to happen right here. Right? And he gets caught. He doesn't go. And you see R.J. Barrett's way up here. You see Nerlens Noel, looking to fight over the screen. Right? Nerlens Noel trying to fight over that screen. R.J. Barrett stayed with his man instead of going with Nerlens Noel's man. Quickly tried to get over here, but there's nothing Quickly can do.
Yeah, he can do nothing with that. Yeah, exactly.
Nothing Quickly can
He
do.
could have fouled.
Hey, I guess he could have grabbed him before he got up there, but then you get that right there. That's a tough one.
Sim.
And then hold on. Let me get to a couple more because I got to get to practice myself. Let me get to a couple more before I get out of here. All right. And then this is another thing that we got to watch out for. All right. You'll see here, and we got to be able to defend this better. 98-97 Knicks. Minute 54 left to go in the fourth quarter. Trae Young is out here. There's no pressure on him. Derrick Rose is caught down here. Look where the screens are. The screens are way down here. Trae Young is out here. All right? We're giving him room to size up where the screens are because Derrick Rose, and I understand why Derrick Rose is giving him so much space. You got to because he's quick.
Right.
But he takes him right off that screen. All right, takes him right off the screen. Boom. Derrick Rose is trying to fight around these screens and pop through. But at this point, when you look at where Derrick Rose is, and you look at the angle that Trae Young has, it's no way that Derrick Rose is going to be able to get there. No way whatsoever. And, of course, what happens, gets in there, floater in the lane, and he got the foul on that play as well. I didn't see a foul there, but he got the foul on that play as well.
Is that the one we lost the challenge to?
I believe so.
Oh.
I think. I don't know. Now, so this is what I think we need to do. All right. This is what I want us to do. Look at this here. Boom. You see this? Mitchell Robinson, Austin Rivers. Neither one of those guys play with us anymore, but Mitchell Robinson, Austin Rivers. You see Damian Lillard bringing the ball up. And you see this, a little wall right here. Two guys coming at him. Everybody else back here, you can't see them. It's kind of in a zone type of a defense so that they're playing the passing lanes. Making it tough for him to decide, who do I pass it to? How do I get a good pass off? Taking the ball out of his hands because we know that he'll pull it up from here if he has to. So we're getting the ball out of his hands from the beginning. From the beginning. And what happens? He stops, picks it up, turnover. All right? I would like to see us try to do something like that with Trae Young. It's not going to be that easy, of course, right? Because, they're going to, they'll do a few different things on the defensive side, on the offensive side to, try to prevent you from double teaming up top like that. But, we've got to figure out something. If we don't, it can be long. It could be a long series. I think, trying to double team, get that ball out of his hands early, could definitely help us. We will see. But, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to have to rush, but I really do got to get to basketball practice. It's 4:51. I'm supposed to be there at 5.
No, we got to keep this going, man. I got some more to talk about, man. I got some more to talk about.
Don't speed.
Hurry up. I just want to say something. I want to say shout out to that Hawks fan that's in the chat. Brother, keep that same energy for Wednesday. I want you on the show when we win. God bless you, though. You won the game. You could talk.
They did what they had to do. Yep.
You could talk in a crazy 7-minute chat, but keep that same energy, brother. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you. Ring that notification bell as well so you'll be notified anytime that I go live. Big shout out to Show. He was talking about Burks. Show, I didn't get a chance to read his super chats from last night. He said I forgot to mention that Burks, he was playing on God tier tonight. He played well last night, really well. Really well, but it wasn't enough. Wasn't enough, man. He also said in another super chat that Randall needs to slow down. He said D Rose, RJ Quick, they want all the smoke. And he said, Obi, I see you. Well,
Hey,
I hope they want it
Sam,
tomorrow night. I hope they want it tomorrow night, man.
Real quick, I wanted to get your thought on one thing.
Yeah.
That last inbound play, do you think that was the right call, or it should have been Burks that got the last shot?
Well, I really got to look at it. I haven't had a chance to really look at it and see everything that went down, and all the movements and stuff like that. So I don't even have an answer for you.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, I don't even know. But anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you all for hanging out with me. And I will catch you guys later. I'm definitely doing a game preview tomorrow. And, probably break down some more film in that game preview as well. So be peaceful, ladies and gentlemen. I am out of here.